The power goes out. Your electric stove is dead. Your microwave won't turn on. It's freezing outside, and your family is hungry. What do? Most people think they're prepared for emergencies until they actually face one. They've got flashlights and batteries, maybe even a generator. But when it comes to cooking without electricity, they're completely lost. In this video, you'll learn 5 proven methods for cooking indoors during any power outage. We've tested them, so you don't have to guess when disaster strikes. And this isn't just about keeping your family fed. One wrong move can lead to carbon monoxide poisoning or a house fire. Welcome to Crisis Horizon, where we test emergency solutions so you know what actually works. If you want reliable preparedness information, hit that like button and subscribe. Let's start with safety. Indoor cooking without electricity can be deadly if you don't know what you're doing. Every year, people die from carbon monoxide poisoning during power outages. Houses burn down because someone used an unsafe cooking method indoors. The 2 biggest threats are fire and carbon monoxide. Fire is obvious. You're dealing with open flames in your home. But carbon monoxide is the silent killer. You can't see it, smell it, or taste it. And when you're stressed and focused on feeding your family, it's easy to miss the warning signs until it's too late. You need 3 essential safety tools. First, fire extinguishers. Not just one, multiple. Keep at least one in your kitchen and another near wherever you plan to cook during emergencies. When you're using open flames with butane, propane, or alcohol stoves, a fire extinguisher is your first line of defense. Second, you need a carbon monoxide monitor, not a detector, a monitor. A detector only alerts you when CO levels are dangerously high. A monitor shows you the levels in real time, so you can take action before the situation becomes life-threatening. You can crack a window wider or shut off your stove. Some monitors also detect explosive gases. This is non-negotiable if you're burning any fuel indoors. Third, ventilation. During a winter storm, the last thing you want is to open a window. But when you're cooking with open flames, you must have ventilation. Even just cracking a window slightly makes the difference between safety and disaster. Yes, you'll lose some heat, but it's necessary to avoid carbon monoxide poisoning. Follow these rules. Only use equipment rated for indoor use. Monitor carbon monoxide levels in real time while cooking. Store fuels properly and test your equipment before an emergency happens. Don't wait for a power outage to figure out how your stove works. Practice now so you know exactly what to do when the power actually goes out. Let's start with the hot plate powered by a battery bank or portable power station. This seems like the easiest solution. You just plug in the hot plate and cook like you normally would. No learning curve, no open flames, no special fuel. But here's the problem. It's incredibly inefficient. Power stations have limited capacity, and a hot plate is a power hog. Running a hot plate for just 30 minutes can consume around 500 watts. If you have a single 100-watt solar panel and optimal sunlight, it could take up to 2 full days just to recharge the energy you used for 30 minutes of cooking. In a real power outage, you need to conserve battery power for essential devices, your phone to communicate, lights to navigate safely, medical devices if anyone needs them. Burning through hundreds of watts on a hot plate is a luxury most people can't afford during extended outages. If you have a robust generator or a way to quickly recharge your power station, then a hot plate can be convenient. But for most people, this method is best reserved for very short-term use or as a backup. Now let's talk about what we found to be the clear winner, butane stoves. Several butane stove models are specifically rated for indoor use. The Iwatani stove puts out 15,000 BTUs. The Sterno model delivers 9,000 BTUs. The Tefal is another solid option. Always check the manufacturer's guidelines to make sure your stove is approved for indoor operation. We tested the Iwatani extensively and the performance was impressive. It's easy to set up. You just click in a butane canister and you're ready to go. For boiling water, we're talking about 5 to 6 minutes on low and just 2.5 minutes on high. That's fast. During our testing, we ran it for several hours with a window cracked open, and our carbon monoxide monitor showed absolutely no increase, 0. We also tested a gas 1 stove, which is not rated for indoor use. We tested it with proper ventilation and saw no carbon monoxide increase, but that doesn't mean you should ignore manufacturer recommendations. If a stove isn't rated for indoor use, there's a reason. Always prioritize safety. Let's talk about fuel. Butane canisters are affordable and have a shelf life of about 10 years, sometimes longer if stored properly. Each canister gives you between 2 and 4 hours of burn time, depending on your stove's BTU rating. In our tests, a single canister lasted about 3.5 hours on low heat. Cost-wise, you can get 4 canisters for around $16, giving you roughly 16 hours of cooking time. Butane stoves offer the best combination of speed, efficiency, and cost-effectiveness. This is why we recommend them as the primary cooking method for emergencies. Next up, alcohol stoves. These come in many forms, from DIY models to inexpensive commercial options. The preferred alcohol is denatured alcohol, which you can buy in gallon containers for around $27. Using 2 ounces of alcohol gives you about 20 minutes of burn time. When we tested boiling 2 cups of water, it took approximately 12 minutes. That's twice as long as butane stoves.
So if speed is your priority, alcohol stoves aren't going to win. But here's what they offer. They're lightweight, compact, and the fuel stores safely for very long periods. A gallon of denatured alcohol at $27 gives you roughly 26 hours of burn time. That's excellent value. The stoves themselves are also incredibly affordable. You can find them for just a few dollars. Alcohol stoves shine as a backup. They're perfect for bug-out bags because they're so light and portable. They're also great to have in addition to your primary cooking method. If you run out of butane or your stove malfunctions, having alcohol stoves means you're not stuck. The low cost and portability make them a smart addition to any emergency kit. Now let's talk about canned heat products like Sterno and Instafire. These are widely available and incredibly easy to use. You simply place the can under a grate or in a small camp stove and light it. No complicated setup needed. But here's where things get interesting. When we tried to boil water with a single can of Sterno, it struggled. After 30 minutes, the water only reached about 180 degrees. That's not boiling. However, when we used it to heat canned soup, it got the soup up to 130 degrees in about 15 minutes. That's hot enough to eat comfortably. We also tested using 2 cans in a Butane Instafire stove. The performance improved, but we still didn't achieve a rolling boil within 30 minutes. So here's the bottom line. Canned heat is good for heating food, but it's poor for boiling water or cooking raw ingredients that need high heat. There is a bonus feature with some units like the Butane Instafire. They double as space heaters with built-in thermal fans. They can take the edge off a cold room. But remember, you still need ventilation when burning fuel indoors, which limits how much heat you can retain. Cost-wise, a 6-pack of Sterno 7-ounce cans runs about $20 and provides 15 hours of burn time. Instafire 3-packs cost around $10 for 6 hours. The fuel stores well long-term, but the heat output and efficiency lag behind butane and alcohol stoves. Canned heat is best used for simple heating tasks or as a last resort backup. Finally, we want to mention propane stoves. We didn't test them in detail for this video, but Coleman propane stoves and similar models are commonly used for emergency cooking. With proper ventilation, they can be safe and effective indoors. Many people already have these from camping. Just make sure you follow manufacturer guidelines and any local regulations. The principles are the same, ventilation is mandatory, and CO monitoring is essential. Let's compare these methods head to head. For efficiency, if you need to boil water quickly, butane stoves are the champion. 2.5 minutes on high heat. Alcohol stoves come in second at about 12 minutes. Canned heat can heat food adequately but struggles with boiling. And the hot plate drains your power reserves so quickly that the overall efficiency is actually pretty poor. For cost, butane is $16 for 16 hours of cooking. That's $1 per hour. Alcohol is $27 for 26 hours, roughly $1 per hour. Canned heat is $20 for 15 hours with Sterno, or $10 for 6 hours with Instafire. More expensive and less efficient. The hot plate requires a significant upfront investment in a battery bank and solar panels, potentially hundreds or thousands of dollars. For shelf life, butane canisters last 10+ years stored properly. Denatured alcohol has a long shelf life if sealed well. Canned heat also stores well long-term. Batteries in power stations lose capacity over time, usually declining significantly after 3 to 5 years. For portability, alcohol stoves and canned heat are incredibly compact and lightweight. Butane stoves are slightly bulkier but still quite portable. The hot plate and power station combination is the bulkiest and heaviest. So how do you choose? For primary cooking during extended outages, butane stoves are the top choice. They're fast, efficient, safe with proper ventilation, and cost-effective. If you're investing in just one method, this should be it. But don't rely on just one method. Build redundancy. Keep alcohol stoves as a backup. For less than $30, you can have a completely separate cooking system if your butane stove fails or you run out of fuel. Canned heat can also serve as an additional backup, especially useful for simple heating tasks. The hot plate with power station is best reserved for situations where you have reliable recharging capability. If you have a gas generator or extensive solar setup, the hot plate becomes more viable. Otherwise, save your battery power for devices that can't be replaced, like phones and medical equipment. For special scenarios, think about your specific needs. If you're building a bug-out bag, prioritize alcohol stoves and canned heat for portability. If you're preparing for extended outages at home, invest in multiple butane canisters. If you're in a small apartment, alcohol stoves might be best for their compact size. Start with a quality butane stove and at least 4 to 8 canisters. That gives you 16 to 32 hours of cooking time. Add an alcohol stove setup with a gallon or two of denatured alcohol. Keep some canned heat on hand. If your budget allows, add a hot plate and power station, but don't let that be your only option. Store everything in a cool, dry place. Create a simple inventory so you know exactly what you have. Rotate your stock periodically, use older fuel first and replace it. This is especially important for power stations. Practice with your equipment before an emergency happens. Pick a weekend and actually cook a meal using each method. Time how long it takes to boil water.
Monitor carbon monoxide levels. Get comfortable with changing butane canisters and lighting alcohol stoves. When you're in a real emergency with stress levels high, muscle memory and experience will serve you better than reading instructions for the first time. Create a preparation checklist. Equipment, multiple cooking methods, fire extinguishers, carbon monoxide monitor. Fuel, adequate supply with documented purchase dates. Safety gear, fire extinguishers charged, CO monitor with fresh batteries, first aid kit nearby. Ventilation plan, identify which windows you'll crack open, consider portable fans, and have a plan for different weather conditions. Emergency preparedness isn't about having every gadget or the most expensive equipment. It's about having reliable, tested solutions that you actually know how to use. Butane stoves offer the best combination of performance, cost, and safety. Alcohol stoves provide excellent backup at minimal cost. Canned heat serves specific purposes well. And power stations are useful if you have the infrastructure to support them. The peace of mind from real preparedness is invaluable. When the power goes out and your neighbors are panicking, you'll be able to calmly set up your stove, monitor your carbon monoxide levels, and prepare hot meals safely. That's not just survival, that's maintaining comfort during emergencies. You now know the 5 best indoor cooking methods and how to use them safely. Butane stoves are the efficiency winner. Alcohol stoves make perfect backups. Canned heat works for specific heating tasks. Hot plates drain power fast. And propane remains a solid option with proper precautions. Which method are you adding to your emergency kit first? Are you going all in on butane or building a diversified system? Drop a comment below and let us know. We read every comment. If you found this video valuable, subscribe to Crisis Horizon. Right now, we test preparedness solutions so you don't have to guess when it matters most. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Remember, preparedness isn't about paranoia, it's about being ready. It's about keeping your family safe when things go wrong. Test your equipment, store extra fuel, follow safety protocols, and stay ready. Keep preparing, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.